So here we are. We're going back to Freya. We're gonna be covering the importance of Freya in the Cosmos era. I did get one request off my last Zack video, and a few friends of mine were asking me to do this video as well. So here we are. So we're gonna jump straight into it. We're gonna start talking about what is the importance of Freya in the Cosmos era. Well, for starters, she's a 35 CP character, so she's very cost efficient, meaning you technically don't even have to use gems for her. You can use power tokens to grab all of her gear because it's just immediately available in the power token shop to just grab. Her banner is still around, so if you have some gems to throw that way, I would highly recommend to do so. I know we just got done with, I know Zack just came out, and we're going to be getting Vayne tomorrow, but I'll tell you why I still think she's very much worth the gems while she's still around. But anyway, she's a 35 CP character. She has no EX just yet, so she's cost efficient. She's a story character, meaning you can just grab her immediately if you haven't pulled her weapons off the banner, because you can actually go to Arc 2 chapters immediately after you clear Chapter 1 in the original story. So you do have to clear through Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 before you can get to Chapter 3, but it's still available. It's still there to grab. She's still there to grab very quickly. So cost efficient is one of my biggest things, because a lot of characters are going to be coming out. We're going to be needing their EXs to do all this crazy stuff. Freya, in hindsight, Freya is a very simple character. She only has 2 abilities, obviously, because she's only a 35 CP character, and she's an amazing support character. And the reason why she's so amazing is because rather than stacking your party with attack up, health, HP regen, brave regen, she puts that all together in a framed buff that only goes onto herself, that works as an aura for the party with Race's Win. So Race's Win will apply the Race's Win, but it's literally just called the Race's Win buff. And one that also changes her brave attack to jump, and it applies brave regen and HP regen. While not an impressive amount, I will say that it's not an impressive amount to the party, it's still a good solid amount to, you know, keep refreshing brave, you know, keep them nice and going. And Race's Win, how it works is it takes half of her max brave and applies it to the entire party, followed up with an HP attack. So she's not wasting any turns by applying a buff. She attacks immediately after using that. Now, and that's absolutely fantastic, because instead of just stacking the team with buffs, she applies it into one frame buff on herself, which is great for characters like Zack, who's putting up a few buffs on himself. Vayne, who's putting up a few buffs on himself. You don't have to worry about buffs pushing each other off like someone like Kate Sith, someone like Selphie, someone like Beatrix, where they need all those buffs to get their stuff going. It's just one single buff that's Freya, and which is better for characters that do have high turn rates, like Zack, Vayne, Tidus, Lightning. Never play Lightning. She's trash right now. Don't touch Lightning. But Lightning is still a good example. Characters with impressively high turn rates go through buffs like there's no tomorrow. So characters that apply framed buffs that work through auras like Freya are incredible, because you're not having to worry about, oh well, okay, Vayne just took 7 turns on his own before Freya has to do anything. Now I have to reset up the buffs on him. So it's great, because that means Freya can just activate Race's Win and then start doing some work. Her auras and everything are there. They're actively applied to the party. And I think that's one of the reasons why her HP regen and her brave regen aren't as powerful as something like Beatrix or Selphie's, or even Kate Sith's, because it's just an aura. It's not an actual buff that's being applied, but that's fine. It works very well in our favor. Now, Dragon's Breath is basically a pseudo EX. This thing right here is an AoE ranged brave attack that follows up with an HP attack. The target you're targeting takes 100%. The rest of them takes splash damage. That's incredible. Not only that, the more enemies there are, the more damage you're going to be putting out, because you're going to be attacking them all. She works best when attacking groups with this ability. Much like most other characters that need, like Kuja, you know, like he attacks multiple characters to get his brave even higher. So a lot of bosses that we're going to be seeing are going to be dual bosses. One of the few or single target bosses we're actually getting in Vayne's Cosmos, where Freya, her damage might not be there, but she's still going to be worth it to run. But she works super well with dual bosses, triple bosses even. And the thing that makes that so great is that she actually has 150% overflow. So you're hitting high numbers as well. So, like, if her max brave is sitting at about 24 to 300, she can cap out at about 400 pre-summon, 40k pre-summon. And then you go into the summon, especially if you have weakness, she's slapping for about 60, 70k on a single target, and the rest of that is going 50% to the enemy team, the other enemies. So this thing, Dragon's Breath right here, is basically a pseudo EX. Like, it's just that powerful of a move. Like, it's comparable to Renoa in terms of strength. The only thing that it does have, it does fall off in strength compared to Renoa, is Renoa is still good even if it's just a single target, because like that, the brave damage potency on Renoa is monstrous. Whereas Freya, if it's a single target, it's going to fall off slightly. But she does make up for it with longevity, with her brave attack and her HP attack changing to jump and high jump, where high jump actually has another brave regen based off the amount of HP damage that you do to the party, which is nice. And there's really not much to her kit, honestly. Like, she's a simple character that works well. Like, there's beauty in the simplicity with Freya, and that's the greatest thing with Freya. There's not much to her. You activate her buff, and then you start hitting for damage, and then you just have to reactivate in the race's win whenever you need to, or if you just need to brave battery the party real quick to avoid taking a break, then by all means you do that again. The only downside is Race's Win only has 4 uses, which is kind of standard for most support characters. Like, I keep going back to these because these were like our god support characters when they came out. Beatrix, Selphie, Kate Sith, they only had 4 uses, just about 4 uses. Agrius only had about 4 uses in their support skill. So that's kind of standard at this point. We're all pretty much used to that. That's really not that big of a deal. And then couple with the fact that if you can raise her attack, what is great. I would just honestly highly recommend sticking with Dragon Knight Burmecia boost, just because it raises the attack and the max brave of the entire party by an additional 5%. So if you can get more of those, keep that up, because that's a very great artifact to have for. And then I don't have the best artifacts at the moment. I'm still working on it. My artifact luck sucks, but like you can see, like I got 2 of them, so they're working pretty well. And this way you don't have to worry too much about attack 108s, because you're getting a 5% total increase to your max attack stat, and that applies to the party. So I would prioritize that more often. So she's very great with as simple as she is. So the importance of Freya in the Cosmos era: 1, 35 CP. 2, simple. No, you don't have to go crazy trying to learn this character's kits. You just press buttons. 3, framed buffs. 4, she has an EX that isn't an EX, because she just hits that hard. For a support character that can hit as hard as Freya can, come on now. And here's the thing, like she was actually our very first character to be released in the Cosmos era. She can take you all the way through Cosmos. She could take you all the way through Cosmos. There isn't, like, the only time that she will fall off is when there is a single target boss. And that only happens about 2 to 3 times, guys. So you see what I mean here? Pain's Cosmos, Porum's Cosmos, Sync as well, Sync Cosmos, Alphanod Cosmos. Like, all these characters are coming out with Cosmos that have dual bosses. Freya is going to shine, and even without the dual boss, if you use Freya well enough, you're still going to be pressing for super hard damage, And for a support character that can, with only a 35 CP, yeah, Freya is pretty important. Honestly, if you can grab Freya, by all means do so. It's understandable at this point if people are passing because, you know, we just had Zack, we have Vayne, we are going to have Fran coming in the later of the month. Rydia is going to be returning. She's okay. We'll talk about her when she comes. But, like, we have some powerhouses that are coming out this month. So, honestly, though, I firmly believe that Freya is not a character you should be passing on. I firmly believe that she should be a character that you should be at least throwing some gems at or saving up your power tokens for, because she's an absolute beast. And she will last you through almost the entirety of Cosmos. Right now, as it stands, she did get a level 70 awakening on the JP side. Still no EX yet, but that should be right around the corner on the JP side at some point. I've heard some talk about it, so we should be seeing a Freya EX Plus at some point. But right now, as it stands, the only thing she has on JP side is a level 70 that she does get a little into the Chaos era, you know, after some EX Pluses have already been released and such. So, while she's absolutely fantastic for Cosmos, she's gonna fall off for Chaos, unfortunately, because she doesn't get an EX and she doesn't get a level 70 for a little bit of time. But the reason why I still say she's worth it is because she's just a 35 CP character. And while she may not be built for Chaos yet on the JP side, she will get you through the entirety of Cosmos just fine. And if she was an EX character that didn't have anything going for her in the Chaos side, then I would say a little iffy, because I'm thinking of the future as well. But right now, specifically for Cosmos, Freya's your girl. She'll get the job done. She'll do the damage. She'll even out-damage some of your characters if you have her built right. And she'll provide amazing support to the party. So, Freya is 100% important for the Cosmos era. I do believe you should be tossing a few tickets, gems, and if not, grab her up with power tokens. That's how good I think she is. Next up, for the importance of series, will be Vayne, because he's dropping tomorrow. I'll be trying to get out a video either Thursday or Friday. Depends on my schedule and stuff, because I will be pulling for him. I have the gems. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.